I do wonder about the usage, like how teams look at usage, because you could point to Christian and say, well, no tread on his tires last year, or very little, but
Mhm.
two major injuries on the tread, which aren't great. But also the way that the NFL looks at running backs in these sort of use them up because they're going to expire anyways. Christian is very special, and I would imagine that if Christian lost a little bit of a step from the running back perspective, he could probably be utilized as a slot receiver. He's that good. But I
Mhm.
do wonder how teams look at that if they're like, yeah, we're overusing him because he's the best player on the field. And even if we were to take him off the field, it's not like that's going to matter for the longevity of his career because running backs just do not last. Like that sounds kind of grotesque to think about it that way. But I wonder if you talked to someone like Kyle or McVay or somebody, and maybe got him a whiskey or something, so they're being a
Mhm.
little truthful.
True
I
story.
wonder what they
Yeah.
would say about that, about their strategy as far as how they utilize running backs.
I know that's always the narrative during game day on Facebook is that, give Brian Robinson the ball. But it's, in a close game, I just I I just see those as wasted touches. Because there's just no way he's gonna be consistently as effective as Christian McCaffrey. He's just, and the threat of him being out on the field is so important that it even if he's out there and you don't get him the ball, it makes his gravity makes everybody's else's job so much easier that I just don't see how you can um again with the lack of weapons that you have at the moment. I just don't see how you can take him off the field for any amount of time in terms of that's going to make any again I gotta say I think if you're going to load manage Christian McCaffrey you do that Monday through Saturday.
Hmm.
You don't do it on Sunday. You watch his practice work. You make sure he's eating right. You make sure the flights are scheduled in such a way that they are able to rest as much as possible. You do all of those things, anything that you can do Monday through Saturday to make his life as easy as possible so that you can go out there and give him give him the ball 30 times on Sunday
Yeah.
is how I would look at it.
Yeah, no, and I would guess that's how they look at it too. That's how Christian
Mhm.
looks at it. He's like, "This is my job. I got the money that I asked for, and this is what the job description is on this football team in a game where it's 6-6 until the fourth quarter. Like this
And
is
if you're
where
and if you're gonna do it, you have to do it, I think you have to do it the way the Raiders did it. I don't like, necessarily like to use them as an example, but Chip Kelly was talking about that they are looking at Aston Genty and using an NBA style model for load managing him, and therefore they brought in a couple of backs that they believe can share the load in terms of um taking reps when he is out of there. And again, I don't think that the 49ers went about building their running back room in that manner, because if they had, they wouldn't have had to trade for Brian Robinson, you know, at the end of August, at the end of training camp. You don't have to do that. Or again, if that had been the goal from the beginning, is what we're going to do is we're going to load manage Christian, and we're going to take 7 to 8 reps. We're going to take him off the field for 10 to 15 snaps a game. I don't again, it just doesn't make any sense to me that you get rid of somebody like Jordan Mason if that's what you want to do, because it just seems like he is tailor made for that kind of work. Now, again, I understand the people dynamics of that, they saw that he is a running back one. He knows he's a running back one. His agent knows he's a running back one. Hell, Kevin O'Connell saw that he was a running back one. But I also know that the 49ers didn't trade him to be altruistic. They didn't, oh, well, we don't want to hold you back. If they will definitely hold him back or hold anybody else back if it's within their best interest to do so. I think it was just a combination of the money and them believing that the running back um position is, basically interchangeable. They just believed it. I'm sure they thought they would get more out of that fifth round pick. Um, he hasn't been here for long enough that I didn't even remember his name. Matthews, I think.
Mhm.
Um, but so that I'm sure that they weren't accounting for being this far into the season and not having him out on the field at all at this point. Obviously, you don't draft somebody with the knowledge that, you probably won't see them for the first half of the season. But that being said, they just didn't, it doesn't feel like they had a plan for managing Christian's usage.
Yeah, you're talking about, Jordan James